Okay, so I'm filming this on my laptop because I finally got a new computer. Yay! It's fun, but I don't know exactly how it's gonna work, like audio-wise, so we're gonna play this by ear. I'm gonna answer a few of the questions that were commented on my last video, and then I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the first 3 weeks of basic. That's part one. So the questions, things that I wish that I'd known before. Just how like emotionally and mentally exhausting it was going to be, because I kind of prepared for it physically but not mentally, and that ended up being like the hardest part for me. The most difficult thing, just like having zero communication to the outside world. That was really weird. Prepared differently. I said that I prepared physically, but I still wish that I had done more. I was fine on the running, but the push-ups and sit-ups, like doing their form with it, was harder than I had expected. Things that I wish that I had brought with me. I can't really think of anything that I was like missing, because I had everything, and if I didn't, in the first, like the end of the first week, we got to go to the mini mall and get like anything else we needed, so that was fine. Another question: was the time scripted like you see on the videos online? I guess that means like the weeks like 0, and it was pretty much that same thing. I did do the obstacle course. It's called the crawl. It was pretty fun, but we had to stop it early because it was too hot, so we didn't get to finish it. I didn't get to like do the sand crawl stuff or the like there's a rope swing into over water. I didn't get to do that. Did I get like 6 shots? I ended up getting 10 shots, and I got like my blood drawn twice. It's a process. You may not have to get that many shots. They like test your blood to see how like what you're vaccinated for, and apparently I'm not vaccinated for anything, so got 10 shots. Anyway, 0 week was crazy. Was it fun to use a gun for the first time? I've actually shot a gun before, but the M16, it's called CADM. That day was like my favorite day of basic training. Did you use for church? Sunday for church? Yeah, I went to church every Sunday. That was nice. Definitely good to get out of the dorms. My flight was good. My squadron was good. Did you win anything? My flight got Beast Excellence, and we were second runner-up for top PT female. But there's the top 4 PT females. 3 of them were from my flight, so we were pretty top-notch. Some units, from what I see on graduation, get to hold flags. Your hair is wicked short. My hair's longer than what I left, but it's fine. It was up in my last video. Flag mass actually came from my squadron, my graduation day. It's just something that your instructors can volunteer your flights for, or can like volunteer to do. Our instructors enjoyed it, but I think a lot of them don't because it's kind of a hassle. I wasn't in flag mass, but my MTI was in charge of flag mass. Like, that was his heritage flight. I'll explain heritage flights in a little bit. But those are the questions. And I'm going to talk about 0 week through 2nd week. 0 week and first week were the hardest. Just because you get there, they kind of like stress you out on purpose. They don't tell you a lot about what you're doing, because they just kind of want to see you squirm and see how you adapt and whatnot. So you're given a lot of like half instructions, and they just want to see if you can figure it out and like how you deal with getting screamed at when you don't do it the exact way they didn't tell you how to do it. I'm gonna grab my notebook because I actually wrote this stuff down of my PT shorts. Maybe. Got my notebook. Let's see here. Yeah, I wrote down like on a week-to-week basis, like what went on. So 0 week, I called it the adjustment week because it was just kind of like getting used to everything. We got uniforms issued that Thursday when we got there, so I got there on a Tuesday, and we got uniforms that following Thursday. So we only had like 2 days where we didn't, really 1 day that we were in civilian clothes. that whole week we learned how to like fold things and mark things and set up our wall lockers. We got all of our shots and our blood drawn, not all of them. We went back quite a few times. We learned how to do entry controller duty that week in 0 week. So like the older flights came and they taught us how to like do EC. EC's interesting. It's actually kind of fun if you can like make it fun in your mind. We went to a few classes, mostly about like dress and appearance, but 0 week was pretty boring, other than carrying all your crap back from clothing issue. That was great. But that was week 1. It was just sort of like getting you processed in and like dressed. Week 2, or week 1, the first official week, sneaker week, we like, it's called boot phasing. So like the first half of the day we would wear our tennis shoes, like our sneakers, and then after lunch we would change and put on boots to like break them in. I don't actually know if it helped any, but not my call. We got to go to church. We got our trainer weapons issued to us. We went to med dental. We got checked, like our teeth checked, and we got our eyes checked for glasses. We got more shots. That's the week we started traveling in elements and details. So like the first week you travel as a whole, like your whole flight travels together, but then the next week they like teach you how to break it down into smaller groups. So like a detail is 5 or 4 or less, and then an element is 5 or more. And like there's just different rules on how like each of those specific groups travel from place to place. So we learned all about that. We got our first PT eval, and I did okay. I'm trying to remember the numbers for it. I think it was like, to pass it, you had to do 5 push-ups, like 10 sit-ups, and you had to run it in less than 20 minutes, the 1.5 miles. So it was like really, really easy. And if you didn't pass it, you just went to supplemental PT. Like after run days, you would go and do more strength training. So it wasn't like awful if you failed it. We went to a lot of classes, and we got to mail letters that week. Like at the end of the week, we actually got to mail letters, and we got like 30 minutes to write them. It wasn't a whole lot. Week 2, after that, nothing. Like week 2 was kind of a weird week for us because it was like you'd been there long enough that they expected you to know what you were doing, but like you didn't know what you were doing. We had a lot more classes. We had a detail day where we went to. I was in Alcatraz, might I add. So we went to Disneyland, and we did KP over there, like kitchen duty. That was fun. We had our first wall locker inspection. We had our first open ranks. I had to go to the birth control clinic to get a waiver to have my birth control. We got a mandatory patio break that week. It was like 45 minutes where we could just sit at the patio, like eat some snacks from the vending machines and write more letters. And then we got in a lot of trouble at the end of the week and got screamed at by our MTIs and had to do MT tools and bed drills and a fire drill. That was the only fire drill we ever did the entire time I was there, and it was awful. We sucked at it. So that was fun. And that week we watched the parade ceremony, like practice. So that was neat. It was like an idea of what was to come. But that was 0 through 2nd week. I'll film 3 through 7 some other time, and then Airman's Week kind of deserves its own video because we'll get there. But yeah, that was my first half of basic. I'm in tech school now. I'm in BTP, basic transition phase, which means that I'm not allowed to wear civilian clothes. I have to march to breakfast and dinner and everywhere else during the duty day. And I can't leave base or drink alcohol. I should get out of that in like 15-ish days, I think. But I'll make a whole video about my tech school. It's actually really interesting. I'm super excited to get more in depth in it. I just finished my first week of class, so it should be good. I'm having a lot of fun so far. It's great to be like free, and like I said, I have my computer now. I have my phone. I can talk to my boyfriend again. So I will get back to you next time. And this was just my first little installment of basic training. If you have any questions, comment them, and I'll try to answer them the best that I can. Thank you.